This is Katie and my channel is Beef in the Middle. It is a Monday morning and we are getting ready to head out to work. And I am so tired of Monday mornings. You know, I was listening to these different people that have money and stuff like that, and they used to like report to, you know, a 9 to 5 job or whatever hours that you work. And I remember them saying that basically like it is a middle class mentality or a working class mentality when you look at the work week and you like or dislike your days based off of where it lines up in the work week. When you are doing what you feel good about and your purpose, like you don't pay attention to that because you're like living life for the most, right? Like, I don't know. I just thought that was really cool because since, you know, when you're a kid, you're watching the school week and like Monday sucked, you know, weekends you always look forward to. And then it's crazy because even as you grow up, like it still applies depending on what days you have off. I have weekends off. And so for me, it's like the week drags. There are certain days I definitely hate more than others. When Friday comes, it's like, okay, I'm downhill. I got this. And so could you imagine like waking up every single day and like not even caring what day of the week it is because they're all good? Like I don't know. I long for that day and I'm working towards that day. But so on that note, I just wanted to share a quote that I really liked, and it is, "Success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out." And that is, you know, what I have to remind myself because I have my setbacks and I have these like mentalities where I'm like, why am I bothering? Like, you know, I'm just a blue collar girl. Like, I've always been good at working. I'm really good at physical labor. I'm usually kind of in the higher like performer range, and I've always taken a lot of pride in that. And now I'm at the point where I'm 44 years old and I'm like, gosh, like I want freedom. Like I worked so hard and we live so tight. And I feel like, you know, most days and weeks, like tighter and tighter. And I like long for the day that things change. And so for me and my marriage, we have started doing things really on a smaller scale in hopes to build off of those foundations. And you know, I used to think I'm like, I'd never be good at like staying on top of vitamins and like being regular. Well, several years ago, you know, we got the little containers and we started doing the vitamins. And, you know, the other day I was looking back and I was still feeling like such a, you know, failure. And I was looking and I was like, you know what? Like several years ago, if you had told me to take vitamins regularly and stuff, like I wasn't on that schedule, you know. Then I had started physical therapy on some stuff for my back. And my physical therapist was like, you know, you need to do these stretches. And I was like, I'm never good with that follow through because I'm always rushing, you know, when you have a family, kids, responsibilities, a full-time job and all that, like making even 5 minutes, so like 5 to 10 minutes, like do your stretches. It's going to help you tremendously. You know, it was like one more thing on my plate and I was like, oh man, like, I don't know if I can stay with this. I'll try, you know, I'll do it here and there. Well, I've been really committed to that in the last 6 months, morning and night. Like I do my stretches, trying to work on maintaining my back and keeping it up to par since I do physical labor. And so I was looking back and I was just like, you know, these are things that, you know, hell, even going to physical therapy, like that was mind blowing because you couldn't even get me to do those things. You know, I would complain about stuff and then I wouldn't follow through on getting it checked or doing any of that. But when you are in a marriage and you have kids, your health and your quality of where you are at physically and mentally, emotionally, spiritually, all of those things, like when people say, oh, it's me and I'm not connected to anybody else and yada, 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 that is such BS. We are all connected, and what you have going on, what you are failing to do, or what you are not doing for yourself impacts the people that love you and in your lives. So I also had to learn to like love myself. Still a process, but I'm trying to get where if I take better care of myself, hopefully I put better into the atmosphere. But I would have never thought I would have stayed up on that. Even flossing, shoot, I was a once a week flosser. Now I'm flossing every single day. That was huge. And I know this sounds like super like petty and like you're just like, I've done all those things forever. Well, awesome for you because you already have such a strong foundation. But consistency, even with the small stuff, going to the gym, you know, we've been committed for that for months now. We go regularly. My wife goes basically almost 6 times. She's been off for a few months, so she goes 6 times a week. She starts back at work today, and I try to go 3 to 4 times, and we've been very consistent with that. My health has been improving. So small steps forward. I've been working on educating on finances and stuff. And so like, I want to do that. I want the success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. Do something different that's better for you. consistently, and it just starts to build a different character. I just wanted to share that because I'm so passionate about a better life, and I want a better life so much for so many Americans that are struggling. Like, you're not the only one, and I think the reality of it is that you know, with all the like social media and everything, you see it and like everybody looks like they're so happy, which I don't do any of that because I find it very depressing because I always feel like people are doing better and have more than what I have. And that's not necessarily the case. Like, no one wants to admit how hard life is and how much they're struggling. I mean, I think it was like 60% of Americans are on antidepressants. So you're not alone, but just do something different. If it's not working, then try something new. If that's working, try to stick with it and see how it makes you feel. So I appreciate anybody taking the time to watch this, and have a good work week. Here we go again.